nice day today. Actually, it's a good day, one of the first day after many months. Looks like really, really nice. There is no dust outside, perfect temperature. And I'm so sorry that I have to make you sit down here in this room. But I'm also delighted that I have the pleasure of introducing one of Nepal's hero, and for that matter, one of South Asia's, and for that matter, one of least developed countries' hero, whom I think I'd heard about him some 2 decades ago, but never had a chance to meet in person, even if I am also from Nepal. So he's Mahabir Pun, engineer by training, but social entrepreneur by his way of life and innovator as well, for that matter. He's a recipient of several awards. I'm not going to bore with all of those, but there are 2 I think is very important. One is called Magsaysay Award, which is equivalent of Nobel Prize in Asia. Another one is Ashoka Foundation Award, one of the prestigious think tank. And then he's also the Global Idea Bank winner. So there are a series of others. And I met him yesterday. He's selling all his award to generate funds for a center that he is leading. So he's going to talk about that. I'm not going to touch anything on that. So he's currently traveling across the country. This is your 43rd day, something like that, and giving 1 lecture every day at least. So you can imagine the level of passion and energy that he has. Today and across this travel, he's actually sharing his 26 years of experience working in entrepreneurship, working in innovation in the least developed part of the world. Particularly the lessons that he has learned and the ideas that he wants to take it further to the next level and so on. So one thing that I have to point it out is that I just had heard about him, but I feel like I know about him after reading this book. I don't know who sent that book to me at ASU mailbox, and I received this book some 2 years ago, and I was flipping the chapters and so on. There is a chapter called Atmosphere, and it's the book written by Gaia Vince, and she happened to be the first lady to receive, let me read that prize, 2015 Royal Society Prize for Science Book. She's the editor for Guardian and also BBC, and she writes in several science magazines. And in that book, while describing Anthropocene, since she's a non-fiction writer, she brings the story of human being. You know, she left 2 of her children to her husband. She was then a nature editor of Nature, by the way, pretty good job to have. But she gave up and travels around. She meets this guy, and she writes about him, but from an Anthropocene point of view. And then one of the things that struck me really, and that's how I am so passionate about to hear what he has to say. I will have to read this. People like Mahabir Pun brings hope to society, as he says. And then he was taught in the village by retired British Gurkha. If you don't know about British Gurkha, go search engine. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Who had never been to school themselves. Remember, the product of people who have not been to the school. And then they used wooden boards blackened by charcoal, writing with soft limestone from local cliff. Okay, that's his education foundation. Mahabir first used pen and paper in 7th grade at the age of 30, and a textbook in 8th grade. But even these were expensive for his father, who is also a retired British Gurkha himself. So Mahabir left school at the age of 14 and worked for 12 years, supporting his family and helping his brothers through school. It took 2 years of writing daily application letters to universities in America. We should be very privileged that we are in the universities in America now. And then, before Mahabir was finally accepted with full scholarship at the University of Nebraska in Kearney. Okay? After 12 years of teaching. And his home village, so after earning his degree and short stay in America, he returned to Nangi as his home village, which you're going to see that, with the commitment to bring prosperity, education, and better health for his fellow villagers and the citizens of that country. That's why I'm privileged to introduce Mahabir Pun. Let's give him a big hand and he's going to So he's going to talk about 45 minutes. I'm going to have to say that, and then we'll have a conversation for another 15 minutes.
Okay, just remind me the time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning. So, this is the title. I'm going to talk about here. It's a rural-based community projects. It's not urban-based community projects. That's the thing I would like to remind you. So, I'm a here program coordinator of Himachal Education Foundation. This sounds like a very big foundation. It is not. So after when I went to University of Nebraska, I got to learn for the first time, very good education there. And after I went back home, so some of my professors at the university, they started this foundation, Himachal.org, to support some of the activities that I am doing, and they are still running. So that's something. So, and another thing for the nice introduction, so I would like to, tell some more. So, when I came to America, I got lost in every airport and I missed my plane. The airlines were so nice, and once I missed the plane, they put me in another, aeroplane. Because I had never traveled, abroad, so I didn't know how to find plane to catch. Then I went to the university, and they put me in the dormitory. Then the first thing I had to learn is how to take shower, and that I had never taken shower. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing, I learned how to use that remote, to turn on the TV in the dormitory. Then third thing, I had to learn how to type. I had never typed anything when I was in the village. So I asked my teachers, because they required me to submit paper, type paper. I said, I don't know how to type. So they let me hand in, the handwritten paper for the first 2 months. Then I had when I was in the semester, then later I had to learn, how to type. So that's what my background is, Then this is my village where I grew up. It looks very beautiful, for eyes, but there's it's a geographical beauty, but the life is not that easy. So the first thing so after I went back home, so one thing I decided not to do in my life when I went back to my home country, that was not to find any job. That's something I decided. So I never tried to find any job after I graduated from the university. So if I don't do anything, how do I survive? I had to find ways to survive. So I went to the communities and started working with the communities and help them whatever way I could in my capacity, and I'm still alive. Okay? So because the community is helping me to stay alive, so this first thing I did is help to start a high school in my village. Then after that we started, to help some other high schools as well, because schools were not that easily available there in that region. Then second thing, after we started the high school, so we had a problem. So how to make it sustainable? How to find money to keep it running? Because the community didn't have money, there was no support from any government, and the Himalayan Education Foundation that I just showed was not started yet. The teachers, they help us to do something and on a small scale. So we thought about starting income generating program. So, but we had never learned how to do that, how to start income generating programs, what income generating programs we could start. So that's why over time we started many of them, and I just want to show you the slides of these things. Yak farm, yak and the cow crust building farm. This is a camping ground for the hikers where they could come and camp, had a hot shower, and we charged some money to them. And cheese, we started making cheese to sell it to the trekkers, hikers, and fishery, handmade papers, producing handmade papers in the villages, and produce local products from the paper. And also I got involved in helping people to start a small rural clinic by providing training to the village women, some basic health training with the help of some doctors. So we helped to build several small clinics with those women as the health worker in the village. They had no formal training. So we started beekeeping, plum jam making, and weaving, mushroom farming. So many things we started. Some of this, many of those slides are not here. So I also got involved in nature conservation program. We started planting trees, and we are still doing all these things. Then I got involved. I decided to bring computers in the village, because computers that time were very expensive, so we had no money to buy new computer. So I came up with an idea to assemble computers in wooden boxes using parts from used computers. So I came back to Nebraska and collected this computer part, 486 computer parts from the recycle store. They let me take it, the recycle store, and I brought whole suitcase full of computer parts, and I asked any people coming to Nepal to bring used computer parts, and we assembled them and built computers and bought monitors, and introduced these computers, 1 or 2 computers in wooden boxes in several schools in that region. Then we started working, we started thinking about bringing internet. Nobody had heard the word about internet. What internet is? Nobody knew what it looks like and how it works. So that was the 2000, around 2000. Because the technology was not developed. Nobody believed that it would be possible to bring computer far from the cities. And the equipment we didn't have any equipment. We just had this router sent by some people, friends there in San Francisco. Okay, but we worked about 1.5. After working 1.5 years, we found ways to make this small device, indoor device, to work as a long-range, equipment to bring computers from the city that is about 25 miles far, with a huge mountain in between. So we had to build a relay tower on the top of the hill and then relay these signals down to the village. So that's how it worked. Then later people got interested, we had students from the University of California at Los Angeles, and some students from Finland and Belgium who had to bring some better equipment, and these are the pictures, slowly, it is growing. So it is growing, and we're still doing it. Now this looks better now. Okay. So these are the things we are doing. We have connected about 200 villages. We are mostly using the internet and the computers to make people digitally literate, and we are using that to provide education, health program, telehealth program, teleeducation programs for the people in the rural areas, and of course for communication using this social media now. But that time there was no social media. when we brought computers and the internet in the village. We were developing educational contents, e-library, everything for them. Then I got involved we got also involved in the tourism program. Like I showed you in the earlier slide, some of the camping ground we built in different parts of that region. But that was not enough. So we wanted to have a real hiking trail. And we wanted to bring more trekkers, hikers to the villages to generate more income, to generate more job opportunities for the people there. So we built hiking trails. I mean, one is 5-day hiking trail, 8 days, 12 days hiking trails like this. And along these hiking trails, we built, lodges like that, the community. It's a community built. In some villages, we had homestay. So this is a good way to keep the money coming from the hikers to the village. Because mostly what happens is, people go to hike or go for trekking, and there are lodges and facilities run by individuals, and once the people make money, they move to the city, and the money does not stay in the village. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to keep the money that is coming from the hikers in the village and make it more beneficial for the village. So we are doing this, and one idea we started this year from last year is we built a 50 kilowatt hydropower station. The idea is to turn these lodges, totally zero carbon emission lodge. That means we are not going to burn anything. We will cook, heat, light, everything using the power from the hydropower. And that lodges, 4 lodges, there are several lodges, actually we have built 8 lodges. Now 4 lodges are powered by this hydropower, and we are going to turn those lodges zero carbon emission lodges. We still have to learn some, how to do it, but we have power now. So that's what we are doing, and this is the hydro generator, So then, innovation center. Why? After doing all these things for 26 years, I realized one thing. All these things that I am doing, I work with the community. I didn't do it by myself. I just always put the communities first and stayed behind and tried to help them whatever way I could. And there are so many villages, around 200 villages, they work there. They are getting some support because there's something happened. And again I say there are other thousands of other organizations, individuals like me, trying to help the communities in the rural areas of Nepal, trying to help the communities in the poor countries around the world, not only in Nepal. But I realized that working like this way, trying to help the communities, is not going to make a poor countries like Nepal a prosperous nation, a developed nation. Our goal was to help the communities and make people happy. Of course they are happy, happier than before. But, they have to leave the country. Most of the young people, wherever I work in those, 200 villages, most of the young people are not there. That struck me, because they have to leave the country in search of, job. Only the women and the old people are in the village. Why? Because Nepal is not developed. Whatever we do to make the communities better, it will help them provide them some relief. But that's not going to make Nepal a developed country. That's what I realized. So I thought about how to make a country a developed country and how to keep all these people going abroad there in Nepal, they stay in Nepal. And I realized that we have to create job opportunities there in the country. How do we create job opportunities? Then I realized that we have to create economy of the country, and we don't have any economy. That's why, since we don't have any economy in the country, so all the people, young people, have to leave the country to find something to work. And many of them, they never come back. to the country. So that is why what I realize is, in order to develop economy or create job, we have to develop economy. In order to develop economy, we have to have something like this innovation, because we know, all of us know, that economy is developing. Developing economy is not possible without innovations, because through the innovation, all the developed country create something to commercialize, sell in the market, and by selling something in the market, they make money and they make their country better. They create job opportunities in the country. That's what I realize is, without, to develop the economy, to create something, we need to do innovation. And we don't have the culture of research and innovation in Nepal. We never had, from our forefathers' time, the culture of innovation, research and innovation. Since there is no innovation happening in Nepal, Nepal never developed economy. And we have, you might be surprised, we have 93-94% of the goods that we use, we always import from other countries. And we have just a 6-7% export, and that's a huge trade deficit. Without reducing this trade deficit, we are not going to develop any economy there in the country. That's what I realized. So that's why we are focusing now. Apart from doing all this community development work, we are focusing on developing innovation centers there, to try to keep the young and the talented, innovative people stay in the country. Since there is nothing like that, the government has no program to keep the talented people. No organization, no non-profit organizations have that kind of program or running that kind of program in the country, so that talented, innovative people have always to live after they graduate from the college. They have to find somewhere to go. So how to keep them there? So we have to keep the platform to keep them, and this is a platform we just started about 2 years ago. So in the last 1 year, there are 14 groups of people working on different projects, different innovation, like I would say. It's not innovation in the real sense, but they're trying to do something, and we're providing them platform to do something. What we do is, after if somebody submit us some innovative ideas, and if that ideas can help to develop the economy of the country or create some job opportunities for the people, no matter how small scale it is or no matter how big scale it is. So we are trying to support them. We are trying to provide full support. What we are doing is we are providing them financial support. By financial support, what we mean is whatever amount of money they need, we are going to provide. For example, some people need $1,000, some need $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000. We are going to provide it through this innovation center. Money. But money is just providing money, you cannot do anything, any innovation. So they need space to work. They need lab. So we are providing them space, and we are trying to build labs also. We haven't done anything much yet, but we are going to do. We don't have still big labs. So we are going to provide labs. If we cannot build any big labs there in the country, we will find some other countries where that kind of lab the need is available. For example, ASU can be a place where you have a lot of labs. I saw here a lot of labs, any country. So we can ask institutions like ASU to provide some opportunity to do some innovation for our students or for our people there. Then we also provide mentor from that specific field. And after doing that, so if they get success in that research, we will help them to produce a product development. So we'll provide full support for them to, develop a product that can go in the local market or global market. Then we will help them to get their intellectual property right, patent right, copyright, whatever they need. We will help them to do that. And then what we will do is we will have to connect them to the investors, venture capitalists. We don't have venture capitalists in Nepal, but there are some people who have money, so we can request them. If we don't find any investors in Nepal, we will have to find investors somewhere around the world. So then once we connect them to the investors, they will commercialize the products they build, even if it is a small one, maybe a toy, or maybe some machinery things, or something big things. So they will commercialize it and help to develop the economy of the country. That's what we are doing now. We are doing, like I said, we have started 14 projects. Some of them are working like for the last 8-9 months. Some of them still start. I'm going to start soon. Some of them already started and doing something. For example, let me give examples. Okay. Drone. Okay. This is the drone we are developing. So why we are developing this drone? So our goal is to help people to get medicine on time, especially in the remote areas, because there are remote areas in Nepal where there is no pharmacy. People have to walk days to get some medicine. So in order to provide them some support, we are building this drone to deliver medicine. It's not only to deliver medicine, but also to collect, the body fluid samples, like for example urine, blood, and stool for lab tests. They will bring back to the center. For that, what we have done is we have developed a model like this, what we call, rural health program, especially. So what we are going to do is we are going to build, and we already have started this last year. So we have built a small hospital with just 2 doctors in the middle, in the center of some of other villages, like 4, 5, 6, 7 villages. The idea is to have a medical doctors, nurses, and a lab, pathology lab, and a technician here, and provide support to all these villages and satellite villages, through telemedicine. And we have set up that thing, a telemedicine program. And then whenever they need medicine, so this hospital will deliver medicines using drones to the specific village. So and there are some clinics in these villages. Some of them are started by the government clinic, some of them are started by the communities. So that's the kind of model we are developing, and once this will be fully developed, then this kind of model can be replicated in other parts of the country, not only in Nepal but around the world. So because it is not possible to build hospitals like this and bring doctors in each of these villages. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to make a model, create a model that works. And this is what we are doing, and this is powered by solar, and this has all the X-ray machine, all kind of small medical equipments that can run on the solar power. So that's what we are doing. So then, and we are they are also building fixed wing, because this kind of drone, rotor blade drone, cannot go that far. So to deliver medicine on a long range, like 20-25 miles, we have to use this drone. So some of our people have developed a water filter system. So here what you can see is a compact water filter and a treatment system, both systems. Because mostly what you find in the market is just a filter. The filter filters the dirt, but it doesn't filter the germs there. So in order to solve that problem, this is a filter here, it is once it's connected to the tap, then it gets filtered and goes to another chamber here, and there is a wheel. The water will turn the wheel and pump this chemical that kills the germ, chlorine-based chemical pump. This is a pump over here, and mix it with the water and make it drinkable water. So this will be useful. I mean, you will not need this here in Phoenix, but this will be very useful for the rural people, because no people in the rural areas get to drink treated water. They drink water directly from the spring or from the river, from the stream. So this can be commercialized on a huge scale. That's what we are trying to do. And we hope to commercialize the drone also, because once we build a drone that works in the rugged mountain terrain of Nepal, it is, that will be very robust drone. It will be much robust than the drones that you fly in here in Phoenix. Here it is so easy. You don't have to go over the mountain. You don't have to go deep down to the valleys. You don't have to go high up in the mountain. Building drones and flying them here in Phoenix, Arizona is a lot easier. But some of the villages in Nepal, we have villages down in the valley. They have to go down. And some villages are up in the mountain, and some villages are on the other side of the mountain. So they have to go across. So those drones have to be very robust, and they have to fly autonomously. So once we can build that, and that drones can be used, once we build it, that drone can be used for many other purposes, not only to deliver medicine. Once we build that, it will take time for us, maybe 2-3 years for doing that. But once we do that, we can commercialize those drones on a huge scale. But the same thing with water. Then this is another thing, students from one university doing there. So, this is a water heater, solar water heater. And there are already solar water heaters available in the market. What they are trying to do is they are trying to, increase the efficiency of the solar water heater, like that, by using the coating, different coating, and metal pipe. So this is the prototype they have built. They are testing it. They are hoping to increase the efficiency of the solar water heater systems. Once this works, smoothly, then we can commercialize it. Because, and also, this is just saying, you might think, might have a big lab, or we are a big institution. We are not. We don't have big lab yet. So we are working on a rented house in different parts of the country right now. So this is something we are building now as one of the spots. We have to build something like this in different parts of the country. So this is for us, this is our research center. Okay, this is our research center. It's a maker space. It's a, so this is our office. This is almost complete now. So our plan is to build something like this in different parts of the country where people can come together and do something. This research, and also we are also building a car. If you are anybody interested in building a car, please come. Why we are building car? We are not building car to export to America or Japan. The reason we are building car is to meet the need of the rural areas in Nepal. We have a mountain road, dirt road, where only 4-wheel drive jeep can drive. You can drive there. That kind of road is all over the mountains in Nepal. No cars can go there. The reason we are trying to build a car is to meet the need there. Our goal is to use that car as a taxi in the mountain. There is no taxi in the mountain. Okay. Then second thing is ambulance. But our goal is to use those cars as an ambulance. It's a 4-wheel drive electric car. So if you are interested in doing something like that, please join our team there. If you are interested in joining this team, water filter team, and help them to commercialize it and develop the product, drone team, any team, anybody is interested. If you are interested, you can join. the goal is to use that car for to meet the local needs. So we may or may not be able to, they may or they may not be able to develop the car. But what we are trying to do is we are trying to provide a platform for them where they can, do something. They can use their talents. While developing the car, designing the car in the computers, they might learn something else or develop something else. So another thing, we are trying to develop small electronic gadget that can chase away the wild animals from the farms of the farmers. The farmers are suffering so much from the wild animals, because once their crop is ready, the wild animals comes and destroy their crops. So how do we find ways to help these farmers? It has been happening all over the mountains. So what we are trying to do is trying to develop some electronic gadget that can run on solar, and that can chase these wild animals. There are different kinds of wild animals, like monkeys. Monkeys destroys the crop very much. Boar, the deers, so many kinds of wild animals. So these are some of the few projects they are doing. Right now, and we are getting more projects. All these projects, the idea is to first help those talented people, innovative people, to use their talents and provide them a platform so that they can do something and they stay in the country rather than leaving the country. And then the goal is to produce something that can help to reduce the trade deficit. Like I said, we have huge trade deficit, 93%, 94% import. In order to reduce that trade deficit, we have to innovate something by ourselves, and sell it in the local market. And we are doing it to develop the economy, but it will take time for us. It's not going to happen in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. It will take time for us, but we have to learn. So this innovation that I have, the leaflet here, we have started it from scratch. And we don't know how to run it. We have no idea. The only reason we started it because we need it. That's the only thing we know. And we will have to learn it, by doing it. That's why, I am meeting all, my friends and Nepali friends like Professor, Netra and other thing all over the country. This is my 43rd day, and I am visiting 43 cities, 1 city in each day, and giving 1 or 2 talk programs in Canada, all over Canada and Europe, and I have 6 more days to go. Okay, thank you.
Let's just go with a few round of questions here. We have time. I'm sure you have something to check with. Yeah. Good.
Mahabir, thank you for that presentation. Astounded at what you presented this morning. My question is about e-waste in Nepal. And I just brought up an article which talked about this was published in August the 31st, so a month and a bit ago. The title reads, "What will Nepal do with the e-waste?" There are 55 tons of electronic waste that have been collected in just the past 1 year. And many of them dumped in landfill without searching for the critical parts you need for your labs. Can you somehow collaborate with the companies dumping the e-waste in your country?
Yes. So, just 4 months ago I was in Japan, and one of my Japanese friends says they are going to have an Olympic there in Japan in 2022, something. So, Japanese government is planning to, make the medals for the Olympians, gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals, from the metals that come from the recycle. So he's asking me, if there's something we can do in Nepal, I think you are asking me the same thing, right? So is there anything we can do to, recycle those, e-waste, all kind of waste is there. And of course, if you can recycle the e-waste, you can get gold, you can get silver, you can get bronze, you can get so many, kinds of, metals from there. So that's a big problem. And that's not only the big problem of Nepal, that's the big problem of India. So all this e-waste, all kind of waste, non-recyclable waste, what is happening in Nepal is most of those are going to India. And India, even in India, they don't have facilities to recycle the e-waste. So they are sending it from some other countries. I don't know where they are sending. So it will take time for us. But even if we don't, we cannot, build this huge plant to recycle the e-waste. We can find some ways to collect it properly. So that they cannot go into the dump, right? So that's something we can do right now, and we have to find ideas how to collect those recyclable e-waste properly without not polluting to the ground or water. So we have to do that. Okay, thank you. Okay.
What do you think is the role of the government in supporting these community-based innovative solutions? Like, is it just about providing financial support and other technical support, or do you think they have a bigger role to play?
The government role.
Yeah.
Like I said, Nepal never had a culture of research and innovation. We never invented anything in the country. We never innovated anything in the country. That is why we didn't produce anything in the country, and that's why we have to import everything from other countries. That is why, since there is no culture, the political leaders, the government still have no idea how to do that. How important it is, how important innovation is for the economic development of Nepal. So, since the government has no plan, so the government, we try to convince the government, what we try to convince the government is, okay, there are developed countries around the world. What they are doing is they are investing certain percentage of their GDP. For example, Israel is investing 4.67% of their GDP for research and innovation. Okay, Korea is investing like a 3% of their GDP today. And some America is investing like I think 2.something% of their GDP for innovation. All the developed countries are putting some percentage of their GDP for research and innovation. That's how they are developing products to sell in the market. But Nepal is not investing anything. So what we propose to the government is to at least start from 1%. We don't have big GDP, maybe 20 something billion dollar. So if we just invest at least even 1% of the GDP we invest, that would be a good start. But they never realize how important this is. We have a Ministry of Science and Technology. It's just for the sake of the name. There are some ministers, there are some employees working on there, but they don't do anything for the development of science and technology. We have a National Academy of Science and Technology. It's a big organization. Their there are people working there. If somebody comes up with some, ideas, some innovative ideas, and who are there for asked to support, what they do is once they receive the proposal, they can provide maybe $500, maybe $600, $700, or $1,000, or $1,200. I have never heard somebody getting like $2,000. What we can do with $500, $600 or $1,000 or $2,000 to innovate something? You cannot do anything. So there's nothing, nobody there to support. Neither the government has any plan, nor the private organized and private company. We don't have industries, big industries there. And nor any foreign agencies working there to help Nepal to become a better place. So that's why we have to start this. And what we believe is, after working for a few years and doing something, some innovative things, producing something, we are very hopeful that the governments will be convinced. So it will take time for our government to jump on it, maybe for 5 years or 6 years, and we are very hopeful. And it will happen. Okay, go ahead.
Has there been anything that has been new and innovative that they could bring it to, let's say, a group like Kickstarter and get all of this smaller type of money in order for them to be able to build and grow larger?
Has there been anything like that in Nepal, you mean?
Has there been any ideas where they can bring a product and say, we need funding?
Yes. So far what has been happening in the last few years, we have some graduates, college graduates in Nepal. After they graduate, most of them, they leave the country. And then some of them are trying to, build a startup there, and some is small scale. I can tell, some handful, like 4 or 5 startups are doing okay. But most of them, they are struggling. The reason they are struggling is, they don't have any support. So our goal is to provide support to those startups as well, so that at least, they can do something. But there is not much there happening there. But it is going to happen slowly it is coming out. So that is what I say is, first we need to develop the culture of research and innovation. So through this small startups, through this innovation center, we are trying to develop a culture of research and innovation, and it will take time to develop the culture. Culture cannot be developed overnight, in a few years, okay? Okay.
So I think my question has something to do with culture. So I'm interested in grassroots innovation and how you tap into that. How you, thinking back to your story beginning when you came back from the States and the yak farms, and ideas are there, but they're not always apparent, right? So how do you begin that process of engaging the community? Maybe the ideas are there and just need support, or maybe they need to be sort of developed.
Okay. So how did the idea come about, right? Or comes?
How do you develop grassroots innovation?
Yeah, to grassroots innovation. Okay. Here is the idea. What I found is, in Nepal there are hundreds of thousands of, non-government organizations working there. INGOs, international non-government organizations, are working there also. So what has been happening is, in many cases, what they do is they think that there is something, people need most, and they come up with the ideas, they make plans here in big cities, and then they go there and implement it. So what happens is, people have no idea what they are there for and what they are trying to do. So how that can be done? So in many cases, the missing link is they never communicate with they never work with the communities to make the plan, to make the initial plan. That is very important. And you have to have somebody from the community who can, tell you the need they have. They might have different need, but the organizations that goes there, NGOs or INGOs, they might have thought differently. So the organization, they have to work closely by bringing these community leaders also in that process of making a plan and getting ideas how to do that. I had no idea what I can do all these things. I had no idea. After I graduated from the university, I went there. I had no money, first thing. I had no idea. The education that I learned at the university, and I didn't learn anything for doing all those things. I just learned some computers, that's it. Right? I didn't learn anything for doing all this. I had no idea. So, what to do? So, over time, after spending time with the people, we came up with the ideas. They came up with the ideas. And I tried to find ways to support them also in my capacity. So that's the main thing you need to keep in mind when you go to the village and try to do something. First, the idea has to come from the villages. They must be involved in everyone. They must be given lead role. Usually, the NGOs, they take the lead role. If the NGOs take the lead role, that project, there is very good chance to fail. The community leaders should take the lead role. I never take a lead role. I just stay behind. Okay?
I don't know the name of it, but locally here, I was thinking about your car idea. There is a car company, it may even be based in Tempe, that does crowdsourcing to create brand new vehicle ideas. And they may be a good resource for you. Maybe somebody with a computer can kind of Google it for you. What's it called? Local motor. It's local motor. But I bet if you connected with them, they have a huge community that helps to try to solve the problem and create designs online.
That's
through
exactly what we need right now, because we have now 6 people. One engineer who graduated from Dartmouth College from the East Coast, and there's one guy who graduated from a university in India, and there are 4 guys who studied some mechanical engineering.
Yes, I think they'd be a great
and
resource
they are
for
fresh, they are very fresh, just graduated, and they are what they are doing is they are designing everything in cars. They are doing research in the internet and they're trying to design everything in the computer. They have spent, so far, they have spent 3 months doing that, and I know they are struggling, but what I am doing is I am encouraging them. So if we find somebody to, mentor them, if we find somebody to mentor them, that would be a great help. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody? Okay then, thank you everybody.
It's my pleasure.